The worst kept secret in Formula 1 has finally been made public. Adrian Newey has joined Aston Martin to spearhead their technical team and try to, if he can, turn their aspirations to become a championship winning Formula 1 team into reality. But, and hear me out on this, is this actually a case of Aston signing the right man at the wrong time? Let me explain why. Newey's move to Aston Martin had been speculated for some time after a switch to Ferrari that had been 40 years in the making gradually became nothing more than just speculation. Instead, Lawrence Stroll managed to sway Newey, partly because he could offer him as much money as he damn well wanted, but also due to the investment that he has put into the team since rebranding it as Aston Martin in 2021. Just to ensure that he could get this deal over the line, Stroll offered Newey to become a shareholder in the team, something he has never had previously. Aston is clearly excited to have someone of Newey's calibre on board, and who can blame them? The teaser video on the morning of the announcement mirrored the type of treatment that a driver would get, showing just how respected and admired he is by those in Formula 1. Stroll could barely wipe the smile off his face at Newey's unveiling, knowing that he had pulled off the coup of the century, or as he put it, a bargain. It's not the first time he's pulled a deal of this magnitude off. Remember how he swooped under Alpine's nose to sign Fernando Alonso, when they weren't prepared to offer Alonso a long-term deal, over concerns his age would eventually catch up with him, and how wrong they've been proven to be. Now Stroll has one of the greatest drivers of his generation and F1's greatest ever designer in his team. Oh, and don't forget, it will be joining forces with Honda as engine partners in 2026. It marks quite a turnaround for the team based in Silverstone from when it fell into administration as Force India in 2018. Speaking of Alonso, Newey's arrival means he will finally get his hands on a Newey designed car, when he's 45 anyway. Adrian mentioned how Fernando had been, in a way, the arch enemy during his period at Red Bull, but has made it no secret that he was a driver he had always admired and wanted to work with at some point if given the chance to. While working with Alonso was no doubt a factor in Newey signing the dotted line, Aston's impressive new facilities, which includes a new factory and a state-of-the-art wind tunnel due to be finished in 2025, left him in no doubt that Aston Martin was the right choice for him. His manager, Eddie Jordan, admitted on his podcast Formula for Success that every team on the grid had approached Newey once his departure from Red Bull was announced earlier this year. It's believed Ferrari, Williams, McLaren and Alpine were the only real contenders before Newey settled on Aston Martin. What's exciting about this deal, apart from the link up with Alonso or the likelihood that Aston will be competing for top honours sooner rather than later, is that Newey has joined a team outside the current Big Four. It only boosts the chances of having another team fighting up the front of the field. I mean, we're already being spoiled for choice in 2024 and possibly even 2025. Newey's switch to Aston has a similar ring to when he joined Red Bull in 2006. They had just finished 7th in the constructor standings the previous year, which was their debut having taken over the Jaguar team, and before long they had climbed up the rankings under Newey's genius. It could also prove a defining moment in the 2026 driver market. Rumours have already suggested a move for Max Verstappen could be on the cards, with Max known to be keeping his options open if he chooses to break his contract with Red Bull, and he didn't rule out a reunion with Newey when the question was put to him. Max said, "That is something maybe for the future that I think about, not now. Adrian and I, we have a very good understanding. I sent him also a message after the news came out, even though, of course, I knew it was coming, so I'm happy for him. If Verstappen were to join, it could lead to an Alonso-Verstappen dream team, although that would mean Lawrence would have to do the unthinkable and move his own son Lance aside. But maybe Aston's impending move to WEC could solve that problem." If you delve deeper into Newey's CV, it is unsurprisingly extremely impressive. You could say that it is arguably the most impressive in F1 history. 13 drivers' titles and 12 constructors to boot. He's a born winner, and wherever he has gone, success has followed. And what's apparent is how quickly he has made each of those previous teams winners. After joining Williams in 1991, by mid-season they had the quickest car and would win the title with Nigel Mansell the following year. Then at McLaren, who he joined in 1997, his first design for the 98 season, the MP4-13, went on to win both titles with Mick Hakkinen. The story continued at Red Bull, although success this time around wasn't so easy to come by. Having left McLaren for Red Bull in 2006, by 2009 Red Bull were both race winners and championship challengers, and went on to claim both championships in 2010 in just their 6th season. So it looks as though it will be a similar story at Aston Martin. You would think so, but it might not be as straightforward as it seems from the outside. Aston Martin, like most teams, has a clear eye on the new regulations arriving in 2026 as a chance to leap to the front of the grid. But this rules reset, very much like the 2014 regulations at the start of the V6 hybrid era, revolves more around the engine than aero. Newey's expertise is aerodynamics, so even if he nails the concept, unless the engine is up to scratch too, then it won't be enough to make a difference. This proved the case with Newey's first design for the previous new engine era, the RB10. It was quick but also fragile, thanks largely in part to engine supplier Renault's underpowered and unreliable power unit. So that will rest with Honda from 2026, who Newey has worked with the last few years at Red Bull and achieved unparalleled success. Given how Honda went from a laughingstock when it was paired with McLaren to developing the best power unit on the grid, there is great expectation from Aston Martin that they can work their magic again for these new regulations. Newey said he has great respect for Honda and the feeling will be mutual, plus he knows just how they like to operate. There is also the risk that Newey joining what is already quite a large technical team with a load of new signings that Stroll has made under his reign, that it could end up upsetting the balance and cause a bit of friction behind the scenes. But as Dan Fallows said, who previously worked with Newey at Red Bull, Newey does not have any technical arrogance, so I do not see this becoming a problem. So from the outside looking in, the theory of right genius, wrong time could ring true. But with Honda's reputation rebuilt and trust restored that they can get their 2026 engine right, plus the fact that success follows wherever Newey goes, I see this project as one that simply cannot fail. It's going to be fascinating to see how it all plays out. So that's it for today's video, guys. Feel free to leave your comments below if you've got any thoughts on today's topic, and also if you are new around here, do not forget to like the video and to subscribe to the channel. Thanks for watching, guys, and I will see you in the next one. Goodbye.